Being the first major of the year, you know the players are going to be a little bit more nervous. Anticipations of a great year are going to start right here this week at Wolf Creek. And you're going to have to make all those adjustments out there. Is your game ready? Can you adjust for the changes in elevation? And do you have the confidence to go all the way and pick up the first major championship of the year?
Drivable par 4, not for most in this field, but for this guy, yes, he has just knocked it on. What a shot. Standing over this putt, concentrating on the read.
When you consider the length of that putt, that's a good putt.
Birdie putt coming up. Had a par on this hole yesterday. With that birdie, moves one shot closer to the lead. Frank, describe the layout here at the 14th hole. It's 444 yards. What a beautiful hole.
It is, and it's a beautiful view. You see everything from the top of that tee there. It's a hole that keeps bending to the left. There's enough bunkers down the left there to actually take your eye. That's why you got to fixate on something in the distance that's a much better line than worrying about that wall of sand down the left side.
Frank, this one's offline.
There's rough and thick stuff over there. Where this ball's going, there's no fairway there, only rough.
And the second shot from 110 yards. Appears to be what they call a commercial play, very solid. Coming out of the rough and right up next to the hole. He has this for birdie.
Well, birdies are hard to come by in this situation. So tight.
Keeps him right in the thick of it. Now to the short par 3 15th hole here at Wolf Creek. What is this, Frank? Just a wedge or a 9-iron?
That's all, Rich, but it's very tempting to get greedy here. And, well, you pay the price, obviously, if you miss the green on the left down on those bunkers because they're, well, a good 6-7 feet below the level of the green. But with a wedge or a 9-iron, who doesn't go aiming at the flag?
Frank missed the green off the tee.
Yeah, but this is certainly a tricky little shot coming up here at the par 3.
Pretty good shot right there. Just needs to keep it steady here over the putt.
And another good par.
Short par 4, 16th hole, measures only 393 yards. But Frank, as is the case with pretty much every hole, despite the yardage, there's plenty of trouble.
It does. It plays tricks on the mind's eye. It looks like it's a dog leg going one way, then back the other way. But really, it's built as a straight hole just across the canyon. And that's the way you've got to play it. I don't think you can drive the green, even the longest hitters at 393 yards. But just a nice drive down there. Take the bunkers on, get it past there. And before you know it, you've got a little wedge in here. And it should set up nicely for a birdie.
Well, the tee shot has landed in the bunker. Sit down. Get down.
Oh, this is going.
That was like Usain Bolt, Frank, right through the tape.
Yeah, that first step, that was never going to stop. Remember, out of the rough. Expect the ball to jump forward a little bit.
Clean this up with a tap. Par here's fine, isn't it, Frank? Frank, this is really a cool closing stretch here at Wolf Creek. Short par 3 15th, the short 4 at the 16th, and now the par 5 17th. You can make up some ground in a hurry as you come down the finishing stretch.
You certainly can. A good drive short of the little stream creek that runs across there, and this is doable as a two-shotter. You find the bunkers or trouble off the tee, then obviously you're forced to lay up, leaving that third shot across the water. But really a fun hole if you want to try and take that second shot on.
There are a number of really good and important grow the game initiatives out there. One of those is the First Tee program, and that allows youngsters who otherwise might not have an opportunity, the chance to put a golf club in their hands, allows them the chance to pick up this game and learn some of the core values that come along with it. It's about much more than making a score. It's about integrity. It is about responsibility, values like that. And this game is so good in instilling those kind of characteristics in young people. Wow, what impact. Absolutely crushed it. Well, he pays a price for that.
Yeah, when you don't see the top of the ball in the rough, you know it's not sitting pretty. You'll need a bit of force to extract one out of there.
Well, this one should be safely on deck here. On the green in regulation. Settles in over the putt. That had to really hurt, Frank, because it looked good all the way.
Well, this will test his mettle.
Par yesterday. Now for birdie. Just continuing to play some really good golf. 8 under par for the championship. Now the closing hole here at Wolf Creek. Frank, what's ahead of us?
You could try and drive at this green, but there's too much trouble, really, Rich. Even though this hole's just over 300 yards, it's very ambitious to try and drive it across that water. Some might try. Most people try and hit a tee shot 240, 250 yard mark, and of course, you do the maths, you're only going to have 60.
That ball is lost in the water. So hit the previous shot in the water, took a drop. This now the third shot. Frank, this is one you don't practice, but sometimes you have to do it. Time for the drop.
Yeah, it should be the easiest shot in golf. You've just paid for it.
Not enough on that one.
Yeah, it just seemed to baby it.
Well, in the sand, but it has been raked nicely, looking for something positive. Well, too bad, Frank. That one rolled right off the green.
It was just coming out so hot.
All right, so greenside bunker. What's he looking to do with this shot, Frank?
Well, really you have to look at the amount of green you got to play with. You don't have to try and fly the ball right by the flag. Allow it to run. Plus, if you can get it to run like a putt, you never know. It might just go in.
And he's made the green. This is a 13-footer. Well, you're not going to make that putt all the time, but you'd like to at least get it to the hole.
If he keeps putting like that, he's going to be an announcer in no time.
So just a formality here. That hole certainly got the best of him. Triple bogey. Frank, right where you want to be at the midway point of a tournament.
Yeah, you know your game's solid. The focus is more on the leader and that you can just go out and play. Excellent position to be in.
EA Sports and the Wolf Creek Golf Club so proudly present third round coverage of the EA Sports Spring Invitational. Pretty good drive here.
Another straight one.
That's an absolute tracer right there. In the fairway and well over 320 yards. So going well up the hill to that green, will need to take an extra club here. This is a good-looking shot. Superb shot.
It's as good as it's going to get. There's going to be no worries about making that one.
This one just requires a little bit of focus. Oh, yeah, birdie, Frank, and another shot closer.
Sniffing in the right direction.
Frank, another really rugged hole. This is the par 3 11th here at Wolf Creek.
Rich, remember that book, Dead Solid Perfect? This is what this hole's all about, because you must hit that tee shot solid. You've got to carry all the trouble in front of you. And remind yourself, too, there's enough green grass down there. Not necessarily green, but green grass around there. A good shot safely on the putting surface here. And this green's not too severe. But this is a fun par 3 just to look at, or even at least experience.
He's knocked it on the green, but not in a great position. This is a difficult chance coming up here. Long birdie try. Birdie putt coming up. Had a par on this hole yesterday. That was not a very good read right there. These putts keep the round together. Wow, I thought he made that. Oh, man.
I just pushed it.
Boy, that hurts. Just a couple of feet.
Well, with 9 holes to go, bogeys become so much more expensive.
From a par 3 to a par 5. Here at the 12th, it measures 560 yards, a sweeping dogleg left, and there is some trouble down that left side.
This is a scary tee shot. There's no two ways about it, Rich. You've got to get the ball in play, because you can really rack up a good score here. That water very much in play. Doesn't matter what club you decide to hit off the tee. 560 yards actually is reachable, believe it or not. But you've got to get it on the fairway. You don't really have to be too brave and try and take too much over there. The other thing, too, to consider about is this green is nearly half the length of an NFL football field. It is 55 yards from the front of this green to the back of the green.
Twelfth hole, and the approach shot is safely aboard, but he still is faced with a difficult task. This is a bending putt of some 30 feet. Frank, I'm not saying he should pull out driver here, but this is a long putt.
Greens are fast, though. You never know. Good line, good pace. Might have a chance.
Never quite had enough oomph on that.
Yeah, sort of a wishy-washy stroke. It's no snack, though.
Frankie took plenty of time on this birdie putt. He looked at it from 3 different angles. He forgot one very important ingredient.
Yeah, pace. You can definitely fall in love with the line, even with approach shots as well, but obviously we see it more on putting.
Nothing wrong with that par putt. 13th hole here at Wolf Creek, and Frank, anyone can say, oh, I'm going to take this one over the trees, but very few can stand up and say, I'm flying this baby clear over the mountains.
Yeah, if you take the direct route, obviously it's going to be much shorter than the 350 yards that it's measured as a dogleg right. So the direct line, well, I don't want to tell you the exact yardage because it might give you too much of a clue, but it might be worth taking. It's going to be a blind tee shot, though, and you're not quite sure on the outcome.
Getting set for this next shot from the rough, what does the player need to be careful of here, Frank?
Well, this is where we're going to see exactly how good they are, because, that's not exactly the best lie, but it's sort of doable if you know what you're doing.
How good was that, Frank, from the rough?
Oh, that's amazing. That's a master class in short game.
Now this for birdie came away with par in the previous round. Wow, that was so close, Frank.
Just time to forget that one. I mean, couldn't hit that much better.
No damage done. Made the par. Frank, describe the layout here at the 14th hole. It's 444 yards. What a beautiful hole.
It is, and it's a beautiful view. You see everything from the top of that tee there. It's a hole that keeps bending to the left. There's enough bunkers down the left there to actually take your eye. That's where you've got to fixate on something in the distance that's a much better line than worrying about that wall of sand down the left side.
No fairway here. This one in that rough. 115 to the hole. Frank, the beauty of the game, the changing conditions. You've played it all over the world, and you don't play it inside a dome, do you?
Yeah, anybody can play on a fine, still day, but what separates the good from the great is actually days like today. That's when that little extra attention to detail, the better strike, the better swing is certainly going to pay dividends.
Goes to 6 under par for the tournament. What a display of golf. So through 54 holes, a really good position inside the top 5 with 1 round to go.
Yeah, and those handful of players that we're looking at, Rich, they certainly have looked the best players this week, which makes tomorrow look like a real thriller.
EA Sports and the Wolf Creek Golf Club so proudly present final round coverage of the EA Sports Spring Invitational. Today we're here at Wolf Creek Golf Club in Mesquite, Nevada. Rich Schluter alongside Frank Nobilo set to bring you all of the action for the EA Sports Spring Invitational. And Frank, what can the players expect from Wolf Creek?
Just a mesmerizing layout, Rich. You can see that from above. Straight driving is imperative out there today. You actually don't have to hit the ball a long way. The elevation on those tees is going to give you that extra distance on almost every shot. You can even take driver out of play on some of the holes. But really it's about being in the right position first on those tee shots that you're going to hit today.
Now our featured golfer setting up for another approach. Really needs to get something going here, Frank.
And that green right now must look like the size of a thimble.
Not terrible, but not his best.
Yeah, outside chance really for birdie, but really it was a rather poor approach shot.
Birdie here yesterday. This putt again for birdie. Speed wasn't bad on that long putt, but the read wasn't very good. You don't want to let this one get away. This is about concentration and focus at this point.
That's a good par there, Rich.
We're here at the downhill par 3 11th hole. Frank, it's 215 yards from the back tee.
This hole certainly is not for the faint of heart. When you look at that tee shot, you think, oh my God, what do I do from here? But remind yourself, it's 215 yards and really only about 160, 170 yards to green grass again. But it's 215 yards. That should be the club that you're trying to pick. Green's big enough, just persuade yourself. Try not to look at the canyon in the desert. There is a green down there. The hole is playable. Even par currently.
Frank, this is a good position to be in for a player. Making birdies, making some moves.
Yeah, starting to get the momentum too for the finish.
Par 5 12th, and Frank, another reminder that Wolf Creek can really be intimidating.
It can. Water down the left. They'll take a huge dent off your scorecard. A lot of fairway down the right. Somehow find that. This par 5 can be reachable in 2. There's still trouble to the right of this green if you get a little bit cavalier. This, without doubt, the longest green on the golf course. It's 55 yards from front to back.
Well, he pays a price for that.
Yeah, when you don't see the top of the ball in the rough, you know it's not sitting pretty. You'll need a bit of force to extract one out of there.
Second shot from the rough. It's on the way. Appears to be what they call a commercial play. Very solid.
I mean, this skill, and that was sublime.
Just good hands, coming out of the rough, able to manage the distance, and now in great position. Wow, Frank, I did not expect that. An eagle. Now to the 13th hole, and, oh, I don't know, should we just fly it over the mountains, Frank?
It looks like that, but then you better find dry land. 350 yards, but as the crow flies, it's probably just a little over 300 yards. I don't know if the mere mortals would really want to flash it across that desert ridge. You probably want to play a little left of it, have a little pitch up the hill. But if you're one of the longer hitters, why not just try it, see if you can make it. Now, this is not heading in the right direction.
Well, it looks like it's going to be in the rough.
Oh, that's off the beaten track. You got 5 minutes to find it.
Set to go. Not an easy shot by any means. Birdie try up next. Locked in on the read and the speed.
How did that not go in?
Well, there's an opportunity wasted.
Just knock it in for a par, and let's forget about this one. Golf is not about perfect, but it's going to hurt the course.
Wow, he got robbed, Frank.
No, it's like kissing your mother-in-law.
So just a formality, man. Ouch. We really can't afford to give away shots at this point in the tournament, Frank. 14th hole here at Wolf Creek. Time to pull out the driver and as well the phone because you want to take some pictures here. Yeah. What a spectacular view.
Stunning. You can see a whole panoramic sort of 360 degrees right around this golf course. Then when you flick back and actually look at the 14th hole, there's 6 bunkers, 3 really in play with the tee shot, as you can see. The other 3 just up by the green. Anything to the right of those is preferred, unless you want to be playing your second shot out of the canyon or the bunkers. Green should be fairly receptive, and 3 distinct portions, which is sort of a common trait here at Wolf Creek. That's sort of 3 different tier levels in that. But let's see, birdies that have been made at Wolf Creek, maybe even one here.
That will be a great look at birdie. Par yesterday, now for birdie. Frank, that is painful.
I mean, all you got to do, just hit it. Just hit it.
Did the job right there. Now to the par 3 15th hole here at Wolf Creek. Frank, this is the shortest hole on the course.
And their version of a postage stamp type hole, minus the bunkers on the right side. Green elevated, falls off as you can see down the left side. Club selection is vital, but it is such a short hole. It's very, very tempting, especially when that flag's on the left side, to still go at it. But you miss this green on the left, and you are going to be considerably lower than the level of this green.
This for another birdie on this hole on the week. Well, you're not going to make that putt all the time, but you'd like to at least get it to the hole.
If he keeps putting like that, he's going to be an announcer in no time.
And he makes it for par. Now to the 16th hole as we get set for the finishing stretch. And Frank, what's the best way to play this relatively short par 4?
Somehow you've got to straighten the hole up in your mind's eye, Rich. Just look all the way across that canyon and look like the hole was built straight, because really that's the way it should be played. If you start looking left and turning it into a dog leg, then all of a sudden bad things can happen. So look straight at the green. That's your line. Just try and bisect those 2 fairway bunkers.
Frank, really good chance from this position to make a birdie.
Yeah, really the only thing he's looking at right now is the flag. This is a green light special.
Well, it's obvious he is in complete command of his golf ball right now. Getting set now over the putt. With that birdie, moves 1 shot closer to the lead. Frank, this is really a cool closing stretch here at Wolf Creek. Short par 3 15th, the short 4 at the 16th, and now the par 5 17th. You can make up some ground in a hurry as you come down the finishing stretch.
You certainly can. A good drive short of the little stream creek that runs across there, and this is doable as a 2-shotter. You find the bunkers or trouble off the tee, then obviously you're forced to lay up, leaving that 3rd shot across the water. But really a fun hole if you want to try and take that 2nd shot on.
And from the fairway for his 2nd shot here. Seems to like it. Looks like it's headed for the green. He's making the game look very simple right now. See it, hit it, and he's got it right on track. Not a gimme, but well within his range. Pretty much doing everything right this week. 11 under for the tournament. Finishing holding her at Wolf Creek is only 307 yards. Frank, where's the trouble here?
Short and to the right of this par 4. Really, there's a multitude of options off this tee. You could hit an iron, you could hit a fairway wood. Even some might try and hit a driver, but that's a little too risky. There's too many problems up ahead if you try and take this hole on. Really a short club off the tee, leaving yourself some area of 100, 70 yards, and you're going to be putting for birdie more often than not. That was a good run at it, Rich.
This from about 10 feet. Like Ben Crenshaw right there, just so smooth.
Well played before.
That'll put a wrap on our final round coverage for all of us at EA Sports. I'm Rich Lerner. We'll see you next time.